Good morning, I'm Anne-Lenae Taljaard and I'm the head of the Theology and Ethics department at Cornerstone Institute. I've been with the department for a couple of years and really enjoy the work that we are doing here. And I would like to take the opportunity to tell you of what we are doing and how you can become part of the theology department. We are saying that in the theology department, we focus on our minds, our hearts, and our habits, and how that can be shaped to serve God and others in a meaningful way. So, in order to engage with you today, I first of all ask, why study with us? And there are many reasons to choose to study theology at Cornerstone Institute, but I will highlight three main reasons. The first one is we have a unique approach in teaching our modules, so you will have a unique learning experience. And we focus on content, critical skills, context, and our community. And I will dive deeper into the meaning of those 4 words. The second reason is that you will engage in theology studies that is offering a well-rounded course focusing on biblical studies, Christian faith studies, practical theology, spirituality, and also leadership studies. And lastly, you will learn to engage with others. You will learn new skills about yourself, and you will discover the gifts that you've received from God and how to utilize that in your community to become a unique participant in your team and a leader in your community. So, to dive deeper into these aspects, I first of all want to talk a little bit about the content with you, where we focus on the content that is always biblical grounded. We are Christ-centered and we are socially concerned. So our content that we engage in is in ways interdisciplinary, but it's also rooted in firm and solid theology. And our approach is an ecumenical department, so we are respectful of other church traditions, but in such a way that we dialogue and we engage with one another on the meaning of things. Then when we look at our context, we know that we are living in our context of urbanization. Many of us live in cities. We live in the Africa context. We live in an understanding of how we live in our personal communities. So in that sense, when we engage with this material in this context, we always ask, how does the context also influence our understanding? How does the lived experiences of people help us to ask different questions and engage with our knowledge? When we then go on looking at our critical skills, we know that we learn during these courses, we learn academic skills. So you learn how to read and write and engage academically well. You also are exposed to critical skills of the future, such as communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. And you also engage in spiritual formation processes. So you learn how to look after your own spiritual well-being, and you also learn how to guide people in their spiritual well-being. When we lastly look at our text that we are engaging, we know that by being compassionate people, we are enabled to read the newspapers, the Bible, and our communities and find ways of engaging well with people. So to dive in deeper to what the different aims of the program is to look at the words that we've said in the beginning around biblical studies, Christian faith studies, our understanding of practical theology and leadership studies. So what you learn in biblical studies is basically to learn more about the Bible, but to learn how to read an ancient text, and also to learn how to interpret the text in the context of today and in the realities of what we face. We also look in Christian faith studies at different ways that people and the church have expressed their faith through centuries. So we look a little bit there at the various doctrines, but in such a way that it enables us and gives us vocabulary to speak about God, speak about salvation, redemption, the work of the Holy Spirit, but also in ways that we can know more about ourselves and can know more about who God is. Then we also look in practical theology more about our ministerial practices, about how we do pastoral counseling, how do we engage in spiritual formation practices. So everything that has to do with our practices in the real world and how we engage in the world with our skills and gifts. And then lastly, our leadership studies is very important, where we focus on how are we a leader. So in what sense do we know what our skills are, what our goals and our aims are, and in what ways are we equipped to lead our community, to serve God and to serve others. So this deep dive into the program, I hope, gives you a good idea of what you will encounter when you study theology at our department at Cornerstone Institute. Thank you.